Something happened when I stopped thinking about other people, and it totally surprised me, and it might surprise you too, because I think that we think about people probably 90% of the time, and we're not thinking about ourselves enough. Now, that immediately sounds obviously selfish, but what I mean is, what I realized is that you're giving your energy away every moment you spend thinking about another person, good or bad. So if you're thinking about, let's say you have a crush on some girl, it's like you're giving so much energy towards that you're no longer thinking about important things, potentially. And without realizing it, you're feeling drained. You're draining your energy. You're draining your life force. And it's making you impotent in the world. You're just in your head, thinking about someone else. Another a prime example is like someone slights you slightly. I guess that's what a slight is, right? It's like they insult you, but in such a in such a way that you almost can't even call it out, because it's so little. It's just, oh, they did something rude, and you can't. It'd be weird of you to call it out, because they probably have like plausible deniability just by the way they did it, and you spend days thinking about it, and you can let it consume you. It's just something so small, especially over something that's potentially a misinterpretation, right? Maybe they're thinking about how maybe you think that you perceive the situation differently than they meant, which is kind of awkward, but no one ever brings it up. And often when someone does bring it up, it's like, oh, okay, it was not even what I thought, or whatever, not even what they thought. So there's that. But I want to go deeper. I want to touch on energy. I want to touch on how much this affects your energy, because energy equals emotion. So if you're thinking about something that makes you angry, you're putting yourself in such a low vibration by doing that. You're bringing yourself from neutral to down here, because anger is a very base emotion. It's a base energy. You're not going to feel good. You're going to feel low, because that's a low vibration state. That can ruin your life. All of a sudden you drive around and you're more like you're road raging more, or you're yelling at people who are nice to you, like your loved ones. And the reason is because you're dwelling in anger. You're dwelling in a low vibration state. And that's just not healthy. You'll probably have a heart attack sooner. Like we all know people who go their entire life like this, and it's beyond unhealthy. Their blood pressure is just higher because of it. So I have a solution, and I can't believe it took me such a long time to come up with this. But it was kind of revealed to me through, I guess I was meditating, and I realized I was trying to meditate, and I was thinking about someone and a situation, and I was like, wait a sec, I just want to relax. This is me time. This is my energy. And I immediately was like, oh, my energy. And I imagined myself, I wasn't even moving, but I imagined myself just like cutting all the energy lines attached to everyone else. And I felt all my energy go back into my body. I don't know, I must have been in some kind of semi-deep meditative state, but I really felt my energy go back into myself, which I was like, oh, okay, that's what that is. That's what it feels like to not give away my energy. And so I tried that in waking life, and that surprised me, because really quickly you can see who the energy vampires are. And when you stop giving them energy, they don't see it coming. They don't know what's going on. All they know is that they're not draining your energy anymore. They start draining their own energy, because they actually have to give to get a reaction to take someone else's energy. So that's the cycle. They say something, you react, they get a dopamine hit, they get energy. And something that can happen is they'll just keep trying and trying. Maybe they don't know how to sit with their own thoughts. They don't have their own peace, which is really sad. And they'll go volatile. Like, they'll just start working themselves up, and they might take more drastic measures. All of a sudden they've made themselves angry, but not even angry at you. Maybe they're angry at the world around them. Maybe they just start hyper projecting on the world around them, and hopefully trying to annoy you, because that's all they can do, because they want your energy so bad. They want you to get, if you were just to get pissed off and just cave in and get and at least match their energy, they would be able to ride that high properly. But instead, they're in it on their own. They vampire their own energy now. And if you have friends like this, if you have family like this, you may not be able to just cut people off, especially if they're family. But it will make them very uncomfortable to just stop giving them that hit, that dopamine. And they'll quickly realize how much they're draining their own energy. And they might blame you for it. They might feel drained because of you, because they think that you're boring or something, and it just drains their energy. But in reality, you're just not giving your energy to someone who's just trying to get a high. And if you have like friends that are like this, they're not your friends. They don't care about you. Maybe they do a little, but are they growing as a person? Are they on self-development? If you're watching this, you're on self-development, and most people aren't. It's rare. So if someone's constantly energy vampiring you, just cut them off, because you don't need to be an energy blood bag for them, where they just suck your energy all day. Yeah, and that goes for everything. But I think it's more important to learn how to not give away your energy, because you can't just cut everyone out. You can't cut out your boss. You can quit your job, but you can't just, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you need to be patient and strategic. And it's kind of hard. It's hard at first, if you're like the average person, to have nothing but positive people around you only. You're going to run into an asshole. You're going to run into someone who's just a bad person. And they want a reaction. They want something out of you. And you're going to need to learn how to differentiate between the energy vampires and the normal good people, and save your energy. One thing I realized that just kind of made a lot of sense is, I'm like, oh my god, that's all the news does. If you watch the news, they're constantly talking about negative stuff because it's draining. But it's feeding them. They love the chaos. They want to see the comments. It's like they want to piss you off. Otherwise, they wouldn't be relevant. They need to make people angry or scared. It makes people click. It makes people comment. That's why the self-development road is far less traveled. And videos like this aren't giving the dopamine high. It's purely educational, which is not something people are on YouTube for 90% of the time. People are on here to totally numb and turn their brain off, or they're actually on here because they're addicted to drama. And maybe they're an energy vampire and they need to see people doing badly. And it's like, that's just messed up. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. And I know there was a time when I was younger, it's like, maybe it's that high school mentality or whatever, and you kind of get trained on the drama because it's relevant. So knowing what's bad is the current news, and it's just like, all it does is create more sadness and anger in people, and everyone gets to get that high off that low vibration, which is just dirty. It's not for people who are trying to transcend levels of consciousness or success, wealth, anything. Like, you're not going to be a successful person doing that unless you are an expert at being extremely provocative and you piss people off. Like, there's a million examples of that in the media world. Just someone who knows how to piss everyone off and get the bad attention, because it's like, all press is good press, right? And fair enough. I agree that it's like, if you have like a scandal and you're like semi-popular person, it's probably better to lean into it most of the time, and you're going to get more press for it, and then you can kind of just transition out of that if possible. But yeah, energy is everything. It's a valuable commodity. It's all there really is, right? That's why sex sells. There's like you see a poster that it triggers you into your base nature, and it makes you want to get more dopamine. So you start going down that pathway. You start going down that click funnel because you saw boobs or some ass. And that's for chumps. You're getting used. Those are energy vampires that are feeding on you because you fell for that easy trap, right? So I hope this was informative. I hope you can start to see where your energy is and where it isn't. Are you thinking about other people, or are you thinking about where you're going in life? Are you thinking about where other people are going in life? Because you probably shouldn't be. The more you're concerned with other people, the less you're concerned with yourself, and the less you can actually work on yourself and address the things that need to get addressed. So Leave a comment down below if you have had a realization like this, or you have so maybe an example in your life. Honestly, just leave something. Engage with this video to help the algorithm help me, because I want to make more content like this so people can just wake up, and not to be cliche, but like I want to reveal my revelations with you guys. So if you like this, give it a like, comment, subscribe if you want more.